ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुम लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे।
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all of you, Hare Krishna. Okay, this will be our last discussion on chanting. We will see. I don't think we'll be able to finish the seminar, but wherever we go, we go, um, and maybe just maybe one session probably max will remain that we can see sometime in the future. Um, okay, so improving our chanting. Last week we discussed on the 10 offenses. I will go little faster. Um, mm, okay. Japa is a barometer of our spiritual life. How good we are doing in our Krishna consciousness can be felt in the morning when we chant our rounds. When um, um, if our chanting is good, that means Krishna is pleased with us and our spiritual life is going good. If chanting is not good, that's okay. If 2 3 days there is a glitch, it's kind of to some extent natural. But if it is not good for a good amount of time, then it is concerning. So it's a barometer. We gauge our spiritual life based on our absorption in japa. Mind wandering problem. Attentive chanter is compared to car under control. So attentive chanter, his mind doesn't wander. He can, throughout his 16 rounds, he can fix himself at the lotus feet of the Lord or any particular meditation or just hearing the names or the prayer, my Lord, engage me in your service. Whatever is his meditation, best meditation, Srila Prabhupada explained us while chanting is, my Lord, engage me in your service. Just hear the name and just the prayer, my Lord, engage me in your service. That's the beginning point, and that's like continued for, yeah, that's a prayer forever. My Lord, engage me in your service. And if the form of the Lord appears in our chanting, then that's very good. We let it appear. If we try to force ourselves in to imagine the form of the Lord, and if the form is going away, then we should not try to bring the mind back on the form. Rather, we should try to keep this prayer, my Lord, engage me in your service, and just hear the mantra. Some days form may appear, then just relish it. If it doesn't appear, don't worry about it. Some pastime of Krishna may appear, relish it. If it doesn't appear, don't worry about it. But the mind should be fixed on the prayer, my Lord, please engage me in your service. Uh, for an attentive chanter, that can stay for the whole time. Understanding the mind is our enemy and friend. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bandhur Atmat Manastasya. Uh, Example of knife can be used to take a life, can be used to save a life. Likewise, the mind can be used as our friend to help us give divinity, sweetness of Krishna, um, progress in our holy name, in our spiritual life. Or the mind can be our enemy, distracting us with many material desires and weakness of the heart and many different things. So understanding that in the beginning mind is my enemy, mind does not want my welfare. Rather, Krishna says these things I should not do, and mind only wants to do those things that are prohibited. And Krishna says you should do these things, and mind doesn't want to do those things. So our only obstacle in our spiritual life is our own mind. So understanding, having a clarity of these principles, then no matter what mind says, a person does not live his life based on what mind says, but he does what is right thing to do, whether the mind supports or not. Especially in the beginning, the mind will not support. I mean, my experience of chanting, probably for more than 1.5 2 years almost in the beginning, was a struggle phase for me. Um, but understanding Krishna, understanding Gita, understanding the importance of holy name, if we just continue doing it, it's not that we never get taste, but it's like someday we are able to absorb more, someday we are able to absorb less. Don't worry about it, but continue your chanting, even if the mind retaliates. Consistency, understanding that mind is only acting as my enemy. Nature of the mind is chanchalam himana Krishna. Like you see, uh, like a monkey cannot stay at one place, always wants to wander. And this second picture, I'm not quite sure. I still think it's a reference to monkey. And the third picture, I think everyone can see, teacher is speaking and the students are looking at some bird or something by the window. So mind is like that. Mind is like a child or like a monkey, always trying to wander. Um, slowly, the mind will become by practice. Krishna says how to control the mind, and Krishna says abhyasena tu kauntaya, vairagyena cha griyate. Try to develop renunciation from the object of sense gratification. Usually, our mind will wander, either there is a problem, or if the mind has certain desires, mind may go there also. Or mind may go, yeah, many other things. Mm, um, so nature of the mind is chanchal, and mm, practice, try to endeavor to bring the mind back on the holy name. How to control the mind? Rishi kena rishikesha sevanam. Rishi kena are the senses, rishikesha is Krishna. Sevanam means use the senses in serving Krishna. The example of Maharaj Ambarish is given, Sabai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo, which is like Ambarish Maharaj used his mind to meditate on Krishna, used his hands to clean the home and clean the temple and whatever cleaning, thinking this is Krishna's home, and for cooking, use his legs going to holy places, use his body to embrace devotees, um, and use his tongue to taste Krishna Prasadam, use his nose to taste the leaves offered to Krishna, the flowers offered to Krishna. In a way, when the senses are used in Krishna's service, When the nose is used in Krishna service, eyes are used to see the beautiful form of the Lord. Like the first, the the lady is doing arati to beautiful form of the Lord. So when the more we expose the senses in the service of the Lord, the senses will become purified. Likewise, the mind. It is a guaranteed way that works. Please trust me. It guaranteed works. It takes its own time. It's just little patience and engagement in devotional service over a period of time will guarantee a success. This was one of the example given by Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati. A wedding party was rowing all night long. So there was like one devotee asked Saraswati Thakur, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada, two people chanting for 5 years. One has made so much progress, another is not able to make progress. Why is the difference? They both are chanting same 16 rounds. Why one made more progress than other? So Saraswati Thakur, to answer this question, gave the example of a boat. Like once, groom with his family was going for his marriage. He had to cross the river. Bride was on the other side, little far. The marriage was arranged. The marriage was in the early morning hours. So, groom with his family sat in the boat and he asked the boatman to take me to where he wanted to go. It takes few hours. All right, come on and sit down. So the boatman rowed whole night, and these family members they slept. They got up in the morning. The boat is at the beginning point, did not move at all. But because of the waves, it was night, so they cannot see. But at the same time, because of the waves of the river, they were feeling lot of ups and downs. So everybody felt, even the boatman felt, we are moving forward. And then they realized the boat was anchored. Anchor is used to keep the boat not running away, not going away. Because they still had the anchor out, they did not go anywhere. The anchor is attachment to sense gratification. So the example Saswari Thakur gave, the analogy is two devotees may be chanting 16 rounds, both chanting for 5 years. Some devotees are very strict with themselves and they don't let themselves in activities not conducive for Krishna service, sense gratification. They don't indulge themselves. They are strict. Another kind of devotees, they they chant 16 rounds, but whatever mind says, they give the mind. So they are still cultivating their attachments. They are not making effort to overcome those attachments. So their progress becomes very slow. So mind is like that. Mind will present. Mind has many desires from our past, many attachments, and mind wants them. But a devotee should do whatever is favorable for Krishna, should not do whatever is unfavorable for Krishna. Problems of inattention, poor clarity, and drowsiness. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, inattentiveness. I am chanting, but I am not with the holy name. To be inattentive while chanting the holy name is the root cause of all offenses. We discuss the offenses, beginning with sadhu ninda and then blaspheming the scriptures or not having faith in the scriptures. Mm, to consider the name of demigod Shiva and Brahma to be equal, to maintain material attachments, to instruct a faithless person, to argue with them about the Krishna Tattva, and many. These are all offenses. Offenses means they will impede our chanting of the holy names. All these offenses will come when chanting is um, inattentive. Inattentiveness in chanting is the root cause. Now, distraction or inattention in chanting produces a type of illusion. When our chanting is inattentive, and distracted, the chanting becomes illusion, like we are in our own world, where we are not focusing on the holy name, on the prayer, my Lord, please engage me in your service, and we create a kind of hallucination in our mind, and it's everyone has their own hallucination. So type it creates a type of illusion, causing serious offenses against the holy name that are very difficult to overcome. Once we go into that phase, it's just it's just we are kind of lost for a long time in that illusion only. That illusion leads to craving for wealth, women, position, success, and even cheating. We are looking for a deep experience. Chanting the holy name is powerful. Holy name can give us those deep experiences. But when our holy name is not attentive, then we don't derive a higher taste there. And then chanting becomes a struggle, and it creates a and it's inattentive, and it creates an illusion. Then material desires will come out, and now we want to associate, now we want more wealth, craving for more wealth, craving for woman association, craving for a position, success, or even want to cheat others for one's own benefit. So these things are all result of inattentiveness in chanting. When these attractions cover the heart, the neophyte gradually loses interest in chanting the holy names. While chanting, if we become inattentive for a long time, then we lose faith in chanting. And we lose faith in chanting because of inattentiveness. When we are attentively chanting, we are inspired to chant more and more. We look for chanting. But when chanting becomes inattentive, then we give it up. It's just a matter of time we give it up. So it is utmost important to make one's chanting attentive again if it has become inattentive. So when these attractions cover the heart, which attractions? Wealth, woman, position, these different cravings. When they cover the heart, the neophyte gradually loses interest in chanting the holy names. He doesn't feel like, because deepness in chanting, that nourishment of the heart, comes by focusing on the holy names. If we are unable to do it, once in a while it's okay, because we may commit some of the 10 offenses, and 2 3 days, and then we kind of try to meditate what offense I committed, and we try to overcome, and we come back to it. That's okay. But if it's happening for a long time, then gradually interest will decrease in the chanting. um, if we, while chanting, we are meditating on anything other than Krishna's names, and the prayerful mood of my Lord, engage me in your service, any other meditation which is not spiritual, it will reduce our interest, and it will increase the craving for material desires. It's not considered good chanting. One must take a constant effort to drive these thoughts away from the mind. It's not like we are chanting and mind is thinking of what I'm going to do today, what how is my office going on, and we think it's okay. It's not like that. One must take a constant effort to drive these thoughts away. Whenever these thought comes, one should, as soon as one realizes, oh, my mind drifted away, one should bring the mind back. There has to be a practice. Krishna says practice, an effort to bring the mind back onto the holy name, to drive these thoughts away from the mind, and diligently follow the rules of Vaishnava etiquette. Be respectful to Vaishnavas. Um, um, Try to be sincere in all aspects of devotional service, in your hearing, in your reading, etc. And keep try your best. Don't give up. Chanting is like a tug of war. tug of war. Maya wants us to, through mind, Maya attacks through mind. She wants us to fail. Just like Gorgopal Prabhu gives an example. Every bowler wants the batsman to go duck, to out without any score, to go duck. Every batsman is determined to make a century. They both are determined. Bowler wants him to be out in this, and batsman wants to stay there and hit a century. So likewise, there is a constant battle. The mind, Maya through mind, wants us to be inattentive and take away our chanting because she knows if this person is inattentive in chanting, she is a winner. But if a devotee is absorbed in the holy name, Maya cannot touch him. Not only at that time, throughout the day, the whole Krishna consciousness improves. So a constant effort n- should be made to drive away the thoughts of the mind toward anything other than the spiritual holy subject matters. Three kinds of inattention are described: audacenia, indifference, lack of attraction. So, this is one kind of inattention, means indifferent. Indifferent means uh, there is no eagerness, there is no attraction, there is no desire, but we are doing just for the sake of doing. Okay, we have to chant. Yeah, I will chant. Bro, morning time is good. Paramatma intellect will say morning time is good. Yeah, but I'm very tired now, so I cannot chant now. Afternoon came. Yeah, afternoon time is not good. Time is in mode of passion also. It's very difficult to distract the mind. Evening came. Again, Paramatma helps us to remember, Prabhu, let us chant. Then the mind says, yeah, but I have to get some groceries. I have to do some cooking now. It will get late for dinner. Uh, and kids are also hungry, so there are so many things to do, maybe later. uh, and then in the night, Prabhu, it's getting late, we should chant now. Okay, so uh, how much time dinner will be ready? Well, 10 minutes. Okay, let me quickly finish it. Somehow or other, I'll finish it. Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Ram. And then while chanting also, we take the beats out to see how much chanting is remaining. Oh, only half round is done. So difficult. And in the meantime, we may check some messages, check some emails, reply, talk to others. Only one round remaining. Very nice. So this is a sign of indifference. Indifference means I don't care. It's like neglecting. Just like your child comes to you and say, "Father, I need some help," and then you are like, yeah, I will help you, but I'm too busy right now. And then later on again child comes, and then you may not be busy, but you make up something. Well, child, I have to work in my some office meeting is there. Okay, child, now it's time for getting the groceries. And you keep on neglecting child. What will happen? The child will be discouraged. This is called indifference. It's a matter of attitude. Holy name is Krishna. We saw abhinna nama nametvam. When we express our eagerness, we express our eagerness by being enthusiastic. Oh, it's morning 5 a.m. Let me get up and chant my rounds. Let me give it the highest priority. Today I will try to focus really, really well. I will chant to please Krishna. I want the mercy. This is called enthusiasm. Enthusiasm can be fake, enthusiasm can be real based on our experience in chanting. So, or the senior, this should be avoided, the indifference. Otherwise, because we are neglecting the holy name, we will find it, and the mood of chanting is just to finish somehow or other. Then we will lack the attentiveness because we don't want to be attentive. We don't want to focus. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Whatever our desire, Krishna reciprocates accordingly. Even while chanting, we get attracted to many things, thus remaining indifferent to the holy name. Why we are indifferent? So many attachments. So many attachments. And chanting is a low priority for us. So let me do this thing, this thing, this thing, um, and chanting goes in the background, low priority. So thus we remain indifferent to the holy name because we get attracted to many things. If one becomes inattentive while chanting, he should immediately approach the Vaishnavas who are free from material influence and chant with them. Inspired by the Vaishnavas' behavior, one desires to give up frailty. So, how to overcome this indifference? Chant with devotees. Associate with devotees who have attraction to the holy name, who gets up in the morning and chant. When you go in their association, uh, yesterday I was speaking with devotees that maybe we should chant once in a week with devotees in this group in the morning over Zoom, so that way we get some association while chanting. I have a strong feeling that will help all of us in our chanting. So let us see. But chant in association of devotees. Then when we look around and we see, oh, this devotees, like you are like, oh, I have to do so many things. Then you hear another devotee, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then you will immediately feel, oh, I am so distracted. Then again, no, no, let me focus. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So just by the behavior of another devotee who is very enthusiastic to chant, he will rub his enthusiasm onto us. Just by hearing him being so sincere, we will feel bad about our indifference. Um, and then we will try to focus. The moment we are determined to focus, if we are determined to absorb ourselves, Krishna will reciprocate. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. If this is what we want, if this is our priority, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. So indifference or I don't care, that is one kind of inattention. Another is jadiya. Jadiya means laziness. Laziness means to stop chanting before finishing a round in order to attend a so-called important activity or for rest. So we are lazy to chant. Means I want to chant, but uh, okay, chanting Hare Krishna. Can you do this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and then or something comes in our mind, or I'm tired, let me go and take some rest. um, Again, not very enthusiastic to chant. We don't even want to finish the round that we are doing to take care of other so-called important activities. If it is really important, okay, once in a while it's okay, but if it's a regular habit, if we are regular feeling sleepy in our japa, that's a sign of laziness. That's a sign of that's actually it's an anartha. Feeling sleepy while hearing bhagavatam, different spiritual discussion, feeling sleepy while chanting, feeling sleepy while reading scriptures, these are all sign of laziness and anarthas. Third one is vikshepa. Vikshepa is distraction. To be absorbed in attraction for wealth, women, position, and material success results in distraction. When we have attachments, distraction will come. I remember my own experience. I wanted to buy a car, and I looked at many cars that I wanted to buy. And next day, in my chanting, my whole 16 rounds of which car to buy. And then I thought, oh, this is not good for me. And then I realized because I absorbed myself too much in making a decision, which at that time I was working, I was earning, I was living Grand Rapids, and my previous car met an accident. So I had to buy a new car. I was using a friend's car that time. Of course, it's an activity, but the thing is, too much absorption in a particular activity results in distraction. And even as simple as when coronavirus came in, and if we were very absorbed in what's happening around the world, how many people are dying, um, that will cause a distraction. Even if you read a novel or newspaper during your chanting, those things will come back to you. Actually, any material activity we engaged in, if it is done for the pleasure of seeking some pleasure or out of fear or any other purpose other than Krishna, they will cause distraction. Uh, and these are the most common: more wealth, attraction to opposite sex, position, material success, they cause distraction. Again, that causes inattention. Then, because we are not able to absorb in Krishna, there is no good experience, and that leads to lack of goodness in chanting, further leads to increased attachment towards these objects, and it's a kind of infinite cyclic loop. Unless we try to make an effort from our side to make our chanting very good, this loop will go on. While chanting the holy name will not really be heard. It's just, Prabhupada said, producing a hissing sound, like Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are like producing some sound like a parrot. So Prabhupada gave an example. You tell parrot, chant Hare Krishna. Parrot can repeat what you speak. They can copy. So you tell the parrot, chant Hare Krishna, and parrot will say Hare Krishna. Then you tell the parrot, whoever comes to your home, you greet him by chanting Hare Krishna. So the parrot will say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, anybody who comes home. And then the cat comes, and the parrot forgets Krishna, and the parrot is only thinking about how to save my life. So he's not thinking of Krishna, but his thinking of Krishna is not really to take shelter of Krishna, but his thinking of Krishna as a matter of ritual. Parrot is not putting his heart while chanting Hare Krishna when others are coming. Parrot is just producing a sound. Of course, that is also beneficial, but if you want to make progress, then that's not sufficient. So, um, this causes distraction. Again, inattentiveness is a root cause of all the offenses. Inattentiveness because of three reasons. One is because of indifference, or it's okay, it's not my priority. Somehow or other, I will get it done at some point of the day. I need good rest. I need this. I need to be very comfortable. And we look for those things, and chanting is one of the things that somehow I will do it. This is called indifference. That is one distraction. Another distraction is laziness. I want to chant, but oh, and even while we are chanting, we want to take some rest, or we feel sleepy and we leave the rounded between go and take rest. Laziness. um, Laziness is like we can't sit at one place and chant, or it can be walking and chanting, that's okay as long as chanting is the only activity we are doing. But like, they are related, being indifferent and being lazy. We chant and then we have 8 rounds to chant, and after 2 3 rounds of chanting we feel like, oh, how will I do, this is so difficult every day. So this is laziness. And vikshepa is distraction. um, when we give too many thoughts to too many things in our day, too much contemplation, Krishna says, Dhyayata Vishan Pumsam, attachment develops, lust develops as we contemplate. So whether we contemplate on the virus or on the car or any of our desires, they will come back during our chanting. So they all causes inattention. How do we overcome all these inattention? Prayerful mood. Um, for different devotees, different things may work, but chanting in a mood of prayer helps. My Lord, please save me from material energy, from Maya. Please save me from my raging senses. If we feel bad about something, that's very good. If our mind is too much attached to wealth, women, fame, material success, prayerful mood can come. If we see envy in our heart, pride in our heart, acting out of ego or acting out of ego, anger, lust, there can be a prayerful mood. My Lord, please help me. Please help me to purify anarthas. Please protect me from these strong forces. If we feel the heat of Maya, if she is impelling us to engage in sinful activities, then this prayer may help. Please save me from Maya. Please save me from my raging senses. Please let me chant, Lord, engage my senses in your service. This is the supreme-most of all prayers, my Lord. Please engage me in your service. Prabhupada said this is the best prayer. You try to hear the holy name and pray, my Lord, how can I serve you? In the mood that I am your servant. Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita. I am the father of all living entities. So we understand I am part and parcel of Krishna. I belong to Krishna. That is the only reality. That is the only eternal relationship. Every other relationship is a play, just like you do a drama. And in a drama, you say, this is my relative, this is my family, this is my father and mother. And after drama is over, we don't have relationship. Every other relationship is a play in this material world. Those relationships sustain for this life at max. But the relationship with Lord is eternal. So once we understand that nobody will help me, nobody can save me, whether Krishna is the only one who will be with me all the time. After death, no family member can save me. Krishna can save me. Next birth, the only thing that will help me is how strong relationship I have developed with Krishna. Other relationships will not work at that point of time. Um, so please engage me in your service. Please help me grow attraction to you. Help me come closer. Um, you know what all obstacles I am facing in my spiritual life. Give me more faith. Whatever prayer you want to make, but a prayerful mood will help. There should be, you must feel an urgency that I want to take shelter of Krishna, uh, because I need something. That something can be, if nothing is there, my Lord, engage me in yourself. It's just a relationship. Any problem you face in the office, at home, emotional, physical, whatever problem, take shelter of holy name. Um, Holy name is our shelter. Like I remember my father passed away. All I could do is chant whole day. We need shelter. My Lord, please help me overcome this phase. Give me the strength and give our near and dear ones. Connect them to you. Wherever they are, it's no more in my hands because he has gone from gross to subtle. So it's no more in my hands. But you are sitting in the heart of that person. Whether it is which next birth and arrangements in next birth, Krishna is in full control. Sarva Karana Karanam. We have very limited control. Um, so, my Lord, I take shelter of you. Um, I'm indebted to my father, to my mother, or to those. So please help me. Now, again, a prayerful mode. Wherever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you take shelter of me in any difficulty, you will be able to cross over the difficulties by taking shelter of Krishna. How do we take shelter of Krishna? By the medium of holy names. So a prayerful mode, see what prayer works for you. Any prayer that help you grow. Up any obstacle you face can become a form of prayer. Any desires, whatever, a prayerful mode. Um, please, please let me chant, Lord. Engage my senses in your service. Please let me chant Hare Krishna sincerely. Please do not let me go away from your lotus feet into the jaws of Maya. Basically, please protect my spiritual life. Please. Please help me grow. Let me not go down. A prayerful mood. We should feel before chanting, we should feel that I want to chant because I need something and Krishna can give me. And because Krishna is not different from his holy name, that will give a sense of, oh, just like, you know, we are using our, now we become enthusiastic when we know why I am doing this activity. Naturally, if you know I need to buy grocery because I need to eat, okay, very nice. So when we know what I'm looking forward from this activity, that helps. And for grocery, for all material activities can fulfill all the demands, but what about inner contentment and whatever problems we are facing or whatever we want, only taking shelter of Krishna will help in all situations, and the medium is the holy name. Avoid complacency. My spiritual master says complacency and laziness are two enemies in the path of devotion. Complacency means this is what I can do. I cannot do more. And laziness again means um, not like lazy for spiritual activities, but very enthusiastic for material activities. If it's about getting some material benefit, I'll be very enthusiastic to do it. But it's if it's about chanting the holy name, taking shelter of Krishna, then I'm not at all enthusiastic. Um, Complacency means, well, this is what I'm doing and I don't want to do any more, and I'm okay with this. This complacency that will obstruct our devotional life. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said we should always push ourselves in Krishna service. If you are doing X amount of Krishna service, do little more. You increase little more and you little more. And Prabhupada said you should do that much that you should be little uncomfortable with yourself. Suppose if you're chanting 2 rounds and you're very comfortable with 2 rounds, then increase. And if you're chanting 2 rounds and 2 rounds is you're finding it very difficult to chant, keep chanting 2 rounds. But as soon as you become comfortable, increase. Not willing to increase or not willing to do more devotional service is a sign of complacency. Avoid that. Enthusiasm to progress. Um, Yesterday I was reading a class by Romapad Maharaj. He was mentioning yearning, yearning, longing, eagerness to go deeper is very good. And enthusiasm. And yearning means a desire to progress, a desire to go forward. Enthusiasm is what am I doing to fulfill that yearning? Yearning will lead to enthusiasm. Okay, I want to be there. I want to be able to fully absorb in the holy names. I want to do more and more. I want to experience Krishna. This is a yearning. Now, what do I do? Um, Let me read this little more. Let me be sincere in my hearing. Let me associate with devotees. Let me chant in the morning. So, this is enthusiasm is expressed through activities. So, yearning and enthusiasm, they are opposite of complacency. Complacency kills bhakti, my spiritual master says. Uh, it will make us lazy if we are complacent for more. Srila Prabhupada used to say, don't stay at one zone for a long time. As soon as 1 2 months are over, increase if you are comfortable. But if your schedule is so busy you cannot, take some more time, increase. One should take responsibility of one's own spiritual life. One should not depend upon when others will tell me to do more devotional service, then I will do. Because then we will do, but not with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is something that should come from within us, something that we take our own responsibility. I want to progress. And one should not cheat oneself. Cheat oneself means one should see, is my thoughts, is my activities conducive. Whatever I am doing, one should take a moment to think, whatever I am doing, am I really, is it good for my Krishna consciousness, or am I trying to avoid Krishna consciousness? Am I trying to avoid, or what is, so cheating oneself means we externally want to go deeper in Krishna consciousness, but our thoughts and actions don't match with 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 what we really want, and we are not able to see that also. That's like self cheating, self duplicity within our heart. So these things should be avoided. Some yearning should be there, some enthusiasm should be there, um, and there should be a constant desire to progress. Do little more, do little more, and one should take responsibility of one's own spiritual life. It's okay in the beginning to expect a push from somebody. Devotees will push us, do little more, do little more. That is devotees' mercy. When they push us, they're not going to get anything by pushing us. What do they get? They don't get anything. If we become absorbed, who gains? You gain. You become more absorbed, you become happy, you go back to Godhead. Your life becomes very nourished. Devotees' only happiness is by seeing others happy. Devotees are not needing any one of your um, wealth or anything from any one of you. Their only desire is, let this devotee go closer to Krishna. Let this devotee progress. Panchatattva Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he derived his happiness by seeing others happy in Krishna's service. When he would see somebody is happy, chanting Krishna's name, okay, they derive lot of pleasure. Seeing others' pleasure gives them pleasure. Um, um, just take responsibility of your own spiritual life. That's what I am also trying to practice in my own spiritual life. We should not depend upon how what others are doing. We should have our own yearnings, and we should try to push ourselves little more. We should make more goals for ourselves. This is a sign of enthusiasm. Sign of enthusiasm. A complacent person does not feel the urgency to become Krishna conscious. That's okay. I am doing something, and that's okay, and I have many other things to take care. He is also slack in services. Can you do this? Prabhuji, you know, life is very busy and there are so many things going on. In reading and hearing shastras, so one should we have to tell our own mind, okay, enough is enough. Like I remember I was chanting one round, and it's been probably 8 months, and I was still chanting one round. I mean, I went through many phases. I made it 2, I made it 4, I made it 16, then I went to 0, then again I chanted 2, 4, then again I went to 0, then again I went to 1. So this is okay. I went myself in my own life. I went through many phases. So it's been 8, 10 months. I was sitting in a temple in the morning after breakfast, just chanting one round. And I was chanting that round, and one devotee came to me and he said, "So Prabhu, how are you doing?" And I said, "Prabhu, I'm doing well." And then he said, "How is your chanting?" I said, "Chanting is good." Then he said, "For how long do you chant?" I said, "I chant for 6 minutes." 6 minutes a round? No, Prabhu, 6 minutes in the whole day. I chant one round. Then he chastised me and he said, "Prabhu, what are you doing? Do you? Why are you? You should become serious. You are not a devotee who is coming to temple for the first time. A person who comes for the first time to temple, we ask him to chant one round or two round. You are in association for more than a year, and you are still chanting one round." That made me think, and then I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. And he said, "Take your own responsibility." And then he said, If I were you, I would not eat anything till I finish 4 rounds to begin with. And by that devotee's chastisement, I took it as mercy. Then I stopped taking breakfast if I don't finish 4 rounds. Of course, now I mean now my goals are little more difficult, my own set goals. But that point of time, if I don't chant 4 rounds, I will not take breakfast. So some days, so this is like I'm I'm taking a step. And some days I could not get time. I got up late and I was very eager for breakfast. And then I would tell myself, no, I haven't chanted my rounds. I will not take breakfast. And then I would fast. Then when I go to office, I was very hungry. Then I would take some time off from the office, go to the car, chant 4 rounds, come, and then gulp prasadam like with great enthusiasm. Just for taking prasadam, sometimes I would chant 4 rounds. But then that helped me. He did not say, he just said, that's one option. It just resonated with me, and I thought, I need to get serious. I need to do something about it. So avoid complacency. Um, Try to serve Krishna. Try to develop some eagerness, some enthusiasm to serve Krishna. Try to do things that you like to do. If you like to read, try to read more. If you like to hear, try to hear more. If you like to chant, try to chant more. If you like to associate with devotees, and if you like a specific devotees that you like to associate with them more. Principle is become more Krishna conscious. Whatever helps you. If you like kirtan, then you can play on YouTube kirtan whole day as long as you want. Just desire, I want to do little more, and do the minimum of chanting, minimum of reading, and do more activity. Somehow increase your enthusiasm. Avoid complacency. Complacency is a disease of hearing deficiency. When we stop associating with devotees and when we don't take enthusiasm in hearing from devotees, complacency will kick in. By not hearing philosophy, one falls into illusion. If you're not hearing about Krishna, if you're not hearing about Maya, if you're not hearing about Tattva, Jiva Tattva, then we will fall into illusion. Illusion means then we will start thinking, why should I chant? Why should I worship Krishna? I have so many important things to do. So one falls into illusion. Although at some point of time, we may have got some experience that what am I doing in my life? Why I'm wasting time? I should become serious. But if we are not hearing philosophy, we'll fall into illusion and we'll start questioning, what am I doing and why am I doing? So hearing deficiency, one imagines injustices and difficulties in spiritual life. Now I'm doing all this, this is not good. Why should I do all these things? All these thoughts will start coming, and this is very difficult. Because of Krishna consciousness, I am facing these difficulties. This is all because we are not eager to hear. See, how much we absorb in hearing is also dependent upon our eagerness to hear. When we are not eager to hear, ye yathama prapadyante, Krishna will not make us hear. The subject matter may be very important, but because we don't have a desire to hear, Krishna will block our mind, block our intellect. So we will hear, but nothing will go inside. Nothing will go inside. Day after day, week after week, it will pass. No transformation will happen. But if we are eager, there should be an enthusiasm and eagerness and enthusiasm in hearing. What can I change? How do I become better? How do I improve? How do I go progress? Let me absorb myself in hearing. You may be hearing Prabhupada lectures, but you feel like, okay, it's a routine work. Then you will not get anything. But if you hear Prabhupada lecture with a mood, let me see what Srila Prabhupada is telling. As if Srila Prabhupada has personally come to my room, nobody is there, and Srila Prabhupada is giving me instructions. Imagine if somebody comes to your room, no one is there, and he says, Prabhu, let's discuss something about Krishna. You will give more attention. So, um, um, again, ye yatha mam prapadyante, Krishna reciprocates. So, eagerness becomes snared into material plan making. If we are not hearing philosophy, then we will think, what do I do next, where I want to be 10 years down the line, and we'll get into this plan making. Forgets his identity as servant of Krishna. We'll forget, and we will identify ourselves as a husband, as a wife, as a son or daughter, as a father or mother, and we forget our true identity as servant of Krishna. If you're not hearing philosophy, we'll fall into illusion. Mental activity replaces concentration of rounds. And we will go into a mental zone, like we saw distractions, and creates a type of illusion and inattention, and our rounds will not be focused, and it will further increase our attachments and reduce our absorption in Krishna. Japa becomes afflicted. This illusion in the advanced stages leads to Vaishnava Aprad, Guru Aprad, and blooping. Blooping means fall down. So one must not be complacent to hear about Krishna. One must make an effort. Hearing includes reading. Some people like to hear more, some people like to read more. Either way is fine. You do the minimum of the other thing, but whatever you like to do, philosophy must be heard. That will that will make us think again and again, again and again, till we come to the stage of nishtha. Nishtha means when we are steady. Once we are steady, we will increase we will increase our hearing and chanting by default n number of times. That a sign of nishtha. So this never stops. Chanting is not just a technique. Don't introduce chanting as a cheap thing. Don't neglect it. I mean, chanting is so powerful. It can Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. All the transcendental mellows are in the chanting. The transcendental rasas, the transcendental relationships, pleasures. Chintamani, it can fulfill all our desires. Nama Chintamani, Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddho, it is completely pure, Nitya Mukto, eternally liberated. Bhinna Nama Namitvam, non different from Krishna, should not be taken as cheap. The natural tendency is familiarity. Srila Prabhupada used to say, familiarity breeds contempt. If you develop familiarity with the process of devotional service, that familiarity comes by not receiving whatever we are receiving in devotional life with respect, by not respecting what we are receiving, and by becoming complacent, by avoiding to hear or chanting. Yeah, in the beginning we may be very enthusiastic to chant, but over a period of time, if we are not careful, then um, 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 we'll start taking chanting as, yeah, I know, we'll start taking chanting as something cheap. Familiarity beats contempt. Yesterday there was a discussion with Romapad Maharaj in Grand Rapids. I joined through Zoom, and Grand Rapids devotees joined in person, some of them. So they asked Maharaj, how to maintain enthusiasm, because it is relatively easier to be enthusiastic in the beginning, but over a period of time the tendency is to lose enthusiasm. How to maintain enthusiasm? And Maharaj said, associate with those who have maintained their enthusiasm after years of devotional service. Associate with those who have not become complacent and who are just progressing more and more. That will help us to grow also. Narad Muni in his previous life, he did not, he he was very enthusiastic. We discussed the story, not going in that zone, but because of his eagerness to advance, to serve devotees, to hear from devotees, um, um, and his seriousness in practicing his own spiritual life, he got he became Narad Muni, became liberated. Our trying to chant nicely is satisfying to Krishna, and he responds. If we are trying our best, Krishna will respond. Actually, Krishna is very eager for us to progress. We just have, my spiritual master says, to improve chanting, you don't need any seminar on chanting, you just need a desire. Just a desire that I want to be absorbed in my chanting. and Krishna will reciprocate. Just a desire. Our trying to chant nicely is satisfying to Krishna, and he responds. But ultimately, it is not by our hard endeavor that he does so. Ultimately, only loving service pleases him. Um, one of one very good meditation on chanting is, my Lord, I am chanting. I am not feeling anything. I am very empty, and in fact, I'm I'm feeling very heavy heart also in my chanting. But I know it gives you pleasure. Chanting is glorifying Krishna. Glorifying Krishna gives him pleasure. So I know it gives you pleasure. Let me try to give you pleasure. It's okay if I don't derive anything. I am your servant. Let me try to serve you. And the mood of devotion, the mood of service really pleases Krishna. See, Krishna consciousness is an art. Krishna consciousness is all about internals. It's a mood that has to be cultivated. That mood we can cultivate when we hear and when we read. That will give us a good contemplation, a good meditation, a good prayers. Poor clarity is produced due to mumbling the words, due to feeling sleepy. So when we feel sleepy during chanting, so this I have seen that. So mumbling of the words due to feeling sleepy, missing one hare regularly due to chanting too fast. When we become time conscious in our chanting, it's okay. I also look at time. That's okay, but we should not try to rush the chanting because I want to finish um, within this much time. Um, um, but the more important purpose, let me hear. If it take 7 minutes, that's okay. Now it take 8 minutes, that's okay. You can have a watch on, of a time, a eye on watch. I have it also. But the principle is, now my goal is within 3 minutes I will finish this round, and I will go very fast. Then that will create distraction and we'll not be able to absorb ourselves. So, and then if you're chanting too fast, we miss Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So I miss two Hare Hare. So lack poor clarity, inattentiveness in hearing. We discussed hearing the philosophy and hearing the mantra. Try to hear the mantra. Haste to finish up 16 rounds and go for some other important business. Oh, somehow let me finish it quickly. So I have so many things to do. So rather one should try to do justice to the chanting. Lack of interest in chanting, drowsiness or feeling sleepy, as far as sleeping in japa. If you get a good 6 hours of rest, you should be able to avoid it. Chanting japa in association of devotees helps. I remember, um, you all should, my humble request, try to chant in association of devotees. We will start a Zoom call soon, probably once a week for some time, and devotees can join and chant. Try that. Try to chant in association of devotees. I was living in temple, and I used to go for a program in Grand Rapids. I would drive Friday. Program was 7 p.m. Fridays. For years that was my schedule. And it will go till 10:30, 11. And then 11 o'clock, devotees would ask me, Prabhu, stay here. Now I stay there actually. But previously I would not do that. And 11 o'clock I would start driving back, and then I would reach sometime at 4 a.m. because I would just park in the rest area and sleep in the car. And I enjoyed those days, just sleeping in a car for 4 or 5 hours and get up, chant some initial rounds in the car itself, and then driving back. And I would take that pain just because when I would come to temple and when I would chant in association of devotees, I would feel very encouraged. So I was hesitant. I was very, somehow throughout my beginning, I was very attached to, I want to chant good number of rounds. Um, and if it takes me to drive back to Farmington Hills Temple, so I have devotee association, so I can chant nicely, I would run for that. And I did that for years. And then Krishna will give me a lot of encouragement. So I have a lot of experience of chanting in association of devotees. That really helps. Mm. Because they are so absorbed in Krishna that the divinity permeates the room, basically, the environment. For example, if there are 20 people in the room, and if one person is feeling divinity, there is a very high chance everyone is feeling that divinity. So it's called Sankirtan. The overall energy, spiritual energy in a room influences everyone. And when all the devotees come together and try to focus on Krishna, that really, really helps. It increases a lot of enthusiasm. Um, in most of the programs, we have done group japa just to create an enthusiasm and everyone get an experience of Sankirtan, chanting together in association of devotees. During the time of Srila Prabhupada, all the devotees would come together and chant in association, Sankirtan. So one should not neglect that. Chanting japa in association of devotees helps. Rupa Goswami compares such reluctant chanter or a neophyte to a man with jaundice. We saw that. We saw that example. The although the holy name is sweet, but because of our own conditioning, we are not able to experience the full nectar that are within the holy name. Okay, few more minutes. If after chanting your rounds you realize there is no urgency, no struggle, then that is a bad sign. Chanting should be intense. Intense means you are really trying to take shelter of Krishna. How will you get that intensity? You chant with devotees who are intense about their chanting, who are very um, now, even if you feel nothing in chanting, if you just struggle, if you just fight, before you finish your 16 rounds, you will experience divinity. Krishna reciprocates. You are feeling very empty, very heavy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You try your best, you push yourself. Don't try to keep anything at that point of time. Possibly, um, um, you will attract Krishna's mercy. Um, so struggle is a good sign, um, and a sense of urgency. I really want to take shelter of Krishna because my enthusiasm, my progress is dependent upon the holy names. If we know that I am dependent on holy name, whatever services I do, I am dependent on holy name. Uh, my day, how I feel during the day, is dependent on the holy name. If we feel I'm completely dependent on holy name, you are in a good shape. That's a good sign. Japa is especially weakened by material desires. A lot can be accomplished simply by approaching japa sincerely, keeping a daily progress report. Some people do that. They um, um, their goal is every day I need to finish my 16 round before 7:45 a.m., before 8 a.m., before this time. So they have a daily progress report. Okay, like Krishna consciousness, especially in our stage, should be goal driven. Goal driven means, did I read half an hour today? Yes. Did I hear at least 15 minutes? Yes. Okay. Um, did I finish this many number of rounds? Yes. Okay. Let's go to next day. Next day again night came. Did I accomplish these goals? Yes. Let's go to next day. Goal driven. Goal driven devotional service will take you forward. Have a minimum and push your boundaries. If if you're very comfortable with your minimum, work daily on your japa and you will see a difference. It's an endeavor that we have to make. Okay, that's all. That's all for today. We will discuss namabhas sometime in future. uh, oh, I just realized uh, there is no light in the room when I saw my video. Okay, anyone would like to ask anything now? next week onwards, Gayatri Mataji will lead the discussions. She wants to start a new course with all of us. Um, my flight is on Monday, so I probably would be leaving Sunday evening itself because flight is from Chicago. Um, or yeah, I will be there. So till Sunday noon, I will continue my services and then I will take a break. And once I come back and once she is done with what she wants to do, then we can see the next. Okay, questions?
Happy and safe journey, Prabhuji.
Um,
Happy and safe journey to India.
oh, thank
Wish
you.
you happy and safe journey.
So was that your question?
No, no, no. I'm just wishing for your India trip. India trip you are going, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, I'm leaving next Monday, Mataji.
Ah,
Most of the time will be in Vrindavan.
okay. Oh, okay. Nice.
Thank you for your well wishes.
One,
Thank you.
one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Actually, in the process of chanting, generally I'm asking what would be the state of mind, if you are fully focused completely, what would be the state of mind during the chanting?
Mm.
Ideal state of mind. I just want
Well,
to.
it changes over a period of time. In the beginning stages where I am in, um, a good chanting can be I was able to hear the names. I was able to remain focused with the prayer, my Lord, engage me in your service. Or at times, once in a while, maybe I was able to meditate on the form of the Lord, either the form of Krishna or the form of Lord Chaitanya, or any picture I have that I like, or Radha Gopijana Vallabha, or some kind of spiritual meditation is there. In effectively, by the end of chanting, you will feel like I want to chant more. You don't feel heaviness in your heart, and you feel some kind of divinity. And I'm sure we all have our own experiences. That's a sign, that's a healthy sign. Our goal, we should be very eager to maintain that healthy sign every day. We should, and then whichever day we are not able to get that, then we should see, okay, how can I get back my strength? Our strength comes from our chanting. Mata, did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, Prabhuji. I just want to know, sometimes these mind like a waves, thoughts will be coming and going. Sometimes I get focused. So I just want to know, in general, what is the ideal state of mind when we truly reach a thoughtless condition in the process of chanting.
Okay. Is your question mind is nature of mind, thoughts keeps and going, teach and keep thoughts keeps coming and going. How to get to the that peaceful zone?
Yeah, I mean, if I get to that peaceful zone, that is ultimate, I feel, but getting to that point of thoughtless condition, it's I mean, striving to get to that, but yeah, I mean, it's ideal
Yeah,
state, I believe. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, I agree with you. That's where I said that actually chanting is a struggle. Struggle means because we know it's potent, we have experienced it, but we don't experience it on a daily basis. um, Krishna says, well, keep trying, and as soon as you remember mind went away, try to bring it back onto the control of the self. Something you can try chanting in association of devotees, you can try reading during the day. Our chanting is not dependent only on our effort during the time of chanting, but it is dependent throughout the 24 hours our activity is behavior. If you increase your Krishna consciousness during the day, like you hear more kirtan or whatever you like to do, you hear some katha, you read some Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, You associate with devotees. If you can feel connected with some devotee, associate with them more. You do more whatever you like to do, increase your Krishna consciousness, that will reflect in your chanting. Over a period of time, from what I have heard, I am myself a neophyte in very beginning stages of my Krishna consciousness. Over a period of time, once anarthas goes away, chanting will remain focused throughout 16 rounds, and you'll be able to be in a peaceful zone throughout the time. We are striving for that phase. If we are enthusiastic, if we keep on trying, that phase will be ours today or tomorrow. Just have that faith and keep growing. Once, it's not that it's always like this. Once in a while, Krishna will reciprocate, and that will give us sufficient enthusiasm to move forward and sufficient faith to move forward. And it's just over a period of time, things will start converging. Radha Mata, you are good?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Prabhuji. Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Shisha
Krishna
Mata,
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Dhanwad
Pranam
Prabhu. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
While chanting, Prabhuji, like in case if you are whatever we read from Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from previous things, like if you are remembering, is that okay while chanting that or not?
Yes, yes, it is okay. If you remember, if you read some Krishna's pastime and next day you're chanting that pastimes comes to you, let it come. Absorb yourself. Still, while any form of Krishna, whether it is pastime or if you're thinking about devotees pastime like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, if you're remembering a verse in Bhagavad Gita, that's also perfect. Any spiritual thought that is coming, that's all right, but that should accompany with hearing the mantra. Let the mantra be heard, and when you are absorbed, these things can happen. These things will happen simultaneously. Just like my spiritual master gave an example. In the beginning, when we start to drive car, we are so careful that we cannot look at phone, forget about GPS. We cannot do anything. We are just holding with both hands the steering and looking forward and very attentive. But as time passes, then we can eat also, we can talk on phone, we can look at GPS, we can do many things, and only one hand on steering, and we can simultaneously do many things while driving. So likewise, these spiritual realizations may come. That's okay, let them come. um, but mantra should be heard. When you are in that peaceful zone, you will be able to hear each and every word of the mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. That will vibrate within you. You will really feel that vibration of the mantra, and your inside will be filled with that vibration, and simultaneously some Krishna conscious meditation will go on. And these are good signs, and it's natural. Something Krishna conscious activity we have done previous day, that may come next day. That's very good. Is it all
Um,
right?
yes, Prabhuji. Um, other question, Prabhuji, like to improve reading, like I started reading in the morning instead of chanting. So is that okay, or like how to follow, Prabhuji?
Okay. So, um, are you did you move your chanting to the evening, or you're able to do both in the morning?
Um, read half an hour or 40 minutes or something like to improve reading, and then chanting few rounds in the morning and then remaining afternoon or remaining evening or something like that.
Okay. Are
Is
you
that
feeling
preferable?
are you feeling more encouraged in your Krishna consciousness by doing that?
Um, for reading, like I'm feeling satisfied, Prabhuji, but coming to chanting, sometimes like when I'm chanting in the evening times, like I do get distractions, like kids do come and ask something, or
Mhm. Yeah, so see, overall, if your overall experience is more encouraging to your Krishna consciousness, um, it's a good sign. If you feel divinity in your day by doing that, it's a good sign. If you feel your chanting was better before, you can try doing that again. Maybe if your schedule permits, getting up little more early and reading some in the morning works. Or what I do, like, one option is if you take little rest immediately after taking maybe 15-20 minutes nap, immediately after, once whenever you feel fresh, reading is a good time at that time, because otherwise reading requires um, you know focusing of the mind on what we are reading. If we are tired and busy, it may be difficult. Find the appropriate time for both. Generally speaking, best time to chant is in the morning. Second best time is in the evening. But if your family situation does not allow you, you can reconsider that decision.
okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Any other
Um,
question? Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
yes, Prabhuji, like before, like when any dear ones or family members passed away or something, Prabhuji, in case if we are chanting for them, um, is that okay to do to get some benefit to them, like once they leave the body, or no?
Yeah, that is very good. That is very good. Varsana Maharaj says the only service you can do once a near and dear one leaves the body is praying to Krishna, because Krishna is with them. We cannot do anything. We cannot render any service to them at that point of time other than taking shelter of Krishna.
Uh, ev- Even though like if they passed away more years back or something, like for their the day came for that for the Pindan day, like year of the day, like even though the number of days passed, is it okay to chant for them? Prabhuji?
Yeah, you can chant even if they passed in your childhood. We should pray
Mm.
for everyone. Actually, it is said, I heard in a lecture, when we pray for ourselves, Krishna does not take it very seriously. But when we pray for others, it's a sign of selflessness, because now we are not only concerned about ourselves, but we are concerned about others. Others' pleasure becomes our pleasure. Others' progress becomes our pleasure. Praying for others will please Krishna way more than praying for oneself. And rest assured, if you are in a habit for praying for everyone, Krishna will inspire others also to pray to you. Everything comes back to you. I encourage praying for others as much as you can if it comes from your heart. Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. When we are praying, like it's not as a neophyte devotee, like not chanting purely, like those anarthas also goes to them. Prabhuji.
Well, overall prayerful mood is good. You,
Good. Okay.
yeah, whenever, whatever we are doing, whatever be the prayer, let the hearing go on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Let us hear the mantra, and simultaneously we can accompany it. My Lord, please take care of him or her. That's very good. My spiritual master says every morning I pray for all my disciples. So we hear from pure devotees that they are always praying for us. And we are able to continue our Krishna consciousness in spite of so many obstacles from material energy because of their prayers. Is that all right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Last question, Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Um, like if people that doesn't have faith, and then if we are praying on behalf of them, like is that okay? Because they are there, they can take care of them. But like, can we do that, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Is it right way to do that?
they are the most needy people. if they don't have faith. They require the most prayers. So uh, we see from our acharyas, they are praying for everyone, not just those who are devotees. Those who are devotees, they already have mercy. We should pray for them also, but we should specially pray harder for those whom we want to receive mercy. That will be an act of kindness from your side.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Danvat pranam Mataji. Anyone else has anything? Okay, so we will end here. Knowingly, unknowingly, if I have made any mistakes to any one of you, please forgive me as your servant. Uh, I will end here. Vancha kalpataru bhesha kripa sindhu be evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. You are all like desired trees, and you all can fulfill all my spiritual desires. I beg for all of your mercy to be able to go deeper in my own Krishna consciousness. I'll end here. Danvat pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.